I'm pretty convinced that the battle on trading really begins once you get profitable. Getting profitable is the easy part. Once you get there, it's going to last your whole trading career, where you have to actually maintain that, keep the consistency going on. And today we'll talk about exactly that, what to do when you get profitable and how to scale up from there. So this is a good question I got on YouTube a few days ago from a subscriber about what do you do when you get profitable? Do you just kind of keep trading? Do you just like do things? Do you try to get different accounts? I'll share with you my thought process and how I kind of do things once I'm profitable and what I recommend you do when your trading finally gets profitable. A few things you can focus on. And the first one is really trying to maintain your edge. A lot of people, when they get profitable, they try to get too fancy. They look at different strategies. They start to look at how they can make their edge better. So they kind of go away from what they are already good at and what they know works. Of course, that's a bad recipe for success because you just kind of add more things, add complexity. And when I did this when I was profitable the first time, it led me to a pretty big drawdown. I had this strategy I was pretty good at. I had a pretty good edge with it. But then as I began traveling and doing other stuff and seeing that I was kind of missing trades, I didn't have the results I was supposed to get in the market, I started to tweak things and add different time frames, different pairs, different instrument. Back then I was trading only Forex. I started to add the indices, different things I was not really good at. And that just led me to a drawdown. So it might seem obvious and like straightforward, but the first thing to do when you get profitable is stick to what works for you and what you're good at and what makes you money. Don't try to reinvent the wheel just yet. Don't try to come up with something fancy just yet. Keep these things for later to work on in the background. But the first key thing should be focusing on your edge and trading that edge consistently in the market. Before we get to step number 2, I've got a full training. If you want to check it out, it's going to be linked below. It's a free training I'm giving you, which we offer for our paid student in the program, where we talk about how to set up your trading for 2024. Things you can do. It covers all the basics of what you should do when you get profitable, things that you have to work on, things you can do also to get profitable in the first place. But how do you really get to running a trading business in 2024? Things you can do to actually make it a profitable income stream. That's going to be linked below. Check it out. Step number 2 in this process is making a plan for your growth. What do I mean by this is very simple. And I'll give you an example here on the screen right away. So here's what I mean by making a plan for your growth. We call this, myself and Michael Thomas, who's a guy who kind of introduced me to that topic, who's a good coach in our programs. It's called a graduation plan. And what this is basically a step-by-step process on how you're going to scale up your trading. So the way this works is you got here on the left side, steps in your graduation. So we call it graduation plan. It's kind of like when you're at school, you go to grade 1, then you go to grade 2, then you go to grade 3. And there's a few key things you need to achieve to get to grade 2 and 3 and 4. You cannot just like hack your way through it. You cannot just try to do nothing and then get more capital in trading. It's not how it works out. So you need to have steps to get to that goal of more capital, scaling up into that big account over time. This is not, of course, my plan now. I've got a whole plan that's a lot more detailed than this. This is one for a roughly beginner trader, but you can adapt this to your own and kind of make your own if you're afraid to do that. So here I've got some steps that I want to take to get to my goal of increasing my account. So I know if I do these things here on the left column, that I'm going to get pretty good results in trading. I'll put some target dates that I want to achieve this by. And this is where the parts where it gets interesting. So we have some stages here. You see it's backtesting, demo, and then live. So these are different stages. Of course, it could be different. It could be like a small account, big account, whatever that is. Then we've got here a risk per trade. So the key is as you move forward, you can increase your risk or you can increase your account size. So if you go and have one strategy and it's profitable, then you trade it in a couple of pairs. Maybe over time you can add some money into your account to grow your account over time. That could be profit challenges. It could be just you putting money in your account, but your account should be growing over time, more than just from your daily trading. So here you see I start with some backtesting. Then as I get to have my first profitable month in demo, okay, I'm going for $5,000 in demo. 5,000, we keep the same. As I get to have my first profitable month, I'll move to the next step here. Take 50 trades in demo. Keep it the same, 0.5% risk per trade. I just move up. Same account balance in demo. Then I want to recover from my first drawdown. Okay, these are steps, by the way, I've outlined for myself. And as an example here, again, this is not my real plan, but this is an example of what things you could do. But then look at what happens once I get to this part here. I've done my first drawdown. I've recovered from my first drawdown of 5% minimum. Then I go live. Right? Then I go live and I focus on my execution for 20 trades. As I do this, I'm trading $5,000, which is not a lot, but decent, on a 0.5% per trade. Okay, live trading. As I start to achieve my steps here, I'm increasing my account balance. Here I've got my 20 trades taken with good results. Boom, we'll move to $6,000 in my account. 0.5%. I'm still practicing here. I'm still trying to get used to the real money and stuff. Then as I get to the next step, I've taken my 20 trades. Still good after 20 trades, so 60 trades in total here. I'm moving to, I think 20% up. So 7,200, 0.5%. As I move forward, I can start to increase my risk. I go on $10,000. Then I might even say like, I'll take a profit challenge or evaluation. So here I'll move to, let's say it will be 25K total, the first one, or let's say 50K. I'll move to 60K, right? Then I'll go with, I might have to change my risk per trade in that case. But let's just go back to 0.5%. So this is kind of how it's done. You give yourself steps to achieve. You put some target dates that you want to achieve these by. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. You can change, of course. You can adapt, be flexible here. But you want to put this in place to know exactly what to do and when you can move on and add some capital. You don't want to guess this over time. You don't want to say, okay, I'm pretty good now. I can add some money into my account. This should be planned out first of all, okay? And then how do you move steps? It's very simple. You need two things in place, right? You need to have good metrics, which you can track in your spreadsheet, however you want to do it. And you need to have a good compliance level. What that means is you need to be able to respect your plan at least 95% of the time. So on 100 trades, you can make 5 mistake trades, right? You respect your plan most of the time, you follow your rules. That's a key part of this plan. If you don't respect your rule, if you make a lot of mistakes, so you had 85% compliance, meaning you had like a couple of bad trades you were not supposed to take, then you don't move on. Then you stay at the same level, or you go back one level. So if you're here, you've done stupid things, you've got a lot of bad trades, you cannot move here. If you're here and you have a losing month, you have bad stats, you cannot move here to the next one. You might stay here at J, or you might just go back one more step and kind of stay here for a while. Okay, and then you can see how the capital here works. This is a good way to see it. And trading metrics is here. You can keep track of them over time. How many bad trades have I taken? All this can be calculated by itself. You can make your own spreadsheet, but this is only mine. That's kind of how I do it. But feel free to tweak it to make it your own. Having that graduation plan is a big key to planning your growth, and you don't want to kind of guess where you're supposed to be next. You want to have a plan for it, because if you just have to kind of think and decide, that's very subjective and it's just not a good recipe for good trading. So make a plan to grow over time based on your stats. How are my stats good? Am I making money? And based on your compliance level, am I following my plan? Do I respect my rules? These things are very, very important. All right, now the last thing that's really crucial if you want to become a good trader, once you're profitable and kind of stick to it, is you need to be able to become your own trading coach. It's a topic I teach a lot about in some of my programs, because being able to become your own coach is super important. Not only do you don't have to kind of get a coach outside, sometimes you might get one, but also you can kind of look at your performance objectively and figure out, am I doing good? Am I doing bad? What do I need to do to get better? And that's very crucial. So for me, what that means is I'm gonna implement some habits that help me to become my own coach. That could be journaling, that could be writing things down, that could be reviewing my performance, that could be doing even like a SWOT analysis, so a strength, weaknesses, opportunities and threats analysis. You look at your own trading overall, what could affect it, what things you can do to get better. These kinds of tools are super powerful. Now, I don't want to get too much in depth on that. It's covered a lot of details in that training I've put below, so you can check it out. Again, it's free. It's a training we had a few weeks back for getting our students ready for 2024. I kind of chop it down a little bit. There's a lot of good knowledge into it, so you can watch it, take a lot of key takeaways. Link below for that, check it out. If you're serious about getting profitable this year, and scaling up and staying profitable over the long term, this will be of good help, and I hope you get a lot of takeaways from it. Make sure you subscribe if it's not done yet. I publish videos like this 3 times a week. Here's a video that YouTube think you will like next. Check it out. But don't forget to grab that private training below, which is of course 100% free. And I'll catch you back here in the next video pretty soon. Ciao.